All right, let's get right into it. We're talking about one of the most watched companies on the planet making a huge, monumental shift, betting its entire future by pivoting away from the very thing that made it a household name. This is the story of Tesla's great AI pivot.
For years, right, we all knew Tesla as the company that made electric cars seriously cool. Luxury EVs like the Model S, that was its whole identity. But that's what we could call the old Tesla. The new Tesla, well, that's all about humanoid robots, autonomous ride-hailing, and artificial intelligence. So what gives? Why the massive, dramatic change?
And look, this pivot was made perfectly clear by the CEO himself. This quote, "It's not just some business update. Nope, it's a loud and clear statement that an era is over, the era of the cars that really kicked off the entire EV revolution." So let's start right there, with the end of that era. The decision to stop building the Model S and X by the middle of 2026, it's not a sign of failure. Not at all. It's a calculated, strategic move to free up money, people, and resources for this new, incredibly ambitious future. I mean, these cars were absolute game changers. The Model S proved EVs could be cool, they could be desirable, and the Model X, brought that electric power to the SUV. But as you can see here, their moment in the sun started to fade. By 2025, sales had dropped so much that, in the company's eyes, they were basically legacy products. Now, let's follow the money, because this pivot wasn't just some new idea cooked up in a boardroom. It was pretty much forced by a financial crossroads. The numbers for the core car business, well, they started to tell a very, very worrying story. Get this. For the first time since going public, Tesla's annual revenue actually went down, a 3% drop to just under $95 billion. Now, for a company that's valued on insane growth, any kind of decline is a huge red flag. But it gets so much worse. While revenue took a little dip, the net income, it completely fell off a cliff, a staggering 46% drop. This means the company was becoming way, way less profitable on the cars it was actually selling. And here is the final piece of that puzzle. The operating margin, which was once the absolute envy of the entire auto industry at almost 17%, had just shriveled to only 4.6%. The story of Tesla's high-growth, high-profit car business was, for all intents and purposes, over. Now this slide right here visually explains the why perfectly. While the car business margins were shrinking, look at the energy division. Its gross margin was nearly double, sitting at almost 30%. The financial incentive to shift focus became, well, impossible to ignore. Okay, so if it's not cars, then what? The new Tesla is being built on 3 brand new pillars: robotics with the Optimus project, autonomous mobility with the robotaxi network, and a totally supercharged energy division. First up, Optimus. And no, this is not science fiction anymore. It is a core business priority. They're aiming to double its hand dexterity. That's basically all the ways its joints can move, and make it lighter, which is really key for efficiency and safety. The big goal? Get 50,000 of these things deployed by the end of 2026, starting in their own factories. The second pillar is the robotaxi network, and its star player is the Cybercab. Now, it is so important to understand, this is not just a modified Model 3. It's a totally new kind of vehicle, designed from the ground up for one thing and one thing only: autonomous ride-hailing at a cost that is projected to just obliterate the business models of companies like Uber and Lyft. And that third pillar, well, it's the one that's already a cash machine: Tesla Energy. Deployments are growing at nearly 50% year over year, and it's becoming a software powerhouse. They have this AI-driven auto bidder platform that intelligently trades energy on the market. This is a high-margin, software-style business. So, you're probably asking, how is any of this even possible? Well, the secret sauce is Tesla's deep vertical integration of AI. We're talking a custom-built stack from the silicon chips themselves all the way up to the massive data centers that train the neural nets. And here's the crucial point. Tesla isn't just buying parts off the shelf from someone else. They are designing their own AI chips, like the AI5 that goes into the cars and robots, and the Dojo 3 supercomputer that does the training. This gives them a massive advantage in performance and efficiency that's built specifically for their needs. But let's be crystal clear about this. This pivot is one of the biggest gambles in corporate history. Building this future requires an almost unimaginable amount of money, and it comes with enormous, enormous risks.
First off, the price tag. Tesla is planning to spend over $20 billion on capital expenditures in 2026 alone. That is a 135% increase from the year before, all going toward building 6 new factories and the massive AI infrastructure needed to make this vision a reality.
And all that spending comes at a very direct cost. For the first time since 2018, the company is projected to burn through cash. A lot of it. We're talking a negative free cash flow of over $8 billion as Tesla invests like crazy before any of these new businesses can start bringing in revenue. And this just brilliantly illustrates how the entire battlefield has changed. Tesla isn't just competing with Ford and GM anymore. No way. It is now fighting a multi-front war against Google's Waymo and autonomy, robotics pioneers like Boston Dynamics, and a whole new wave of incredibly advanced Chinese EV and AI companies. Success is so far from guaranteed. The path forward really depends on clearing 3 huge hurdles. First, can they actually build all this stuff at scale? Second, will regulators even allow unsupervised cars on public roads? And third, can the company survive burning through cash for years just to see this thing through? So, with such colossal risks, you have to ask, why? Why even do it? Because the vision isn't just about building cool new products. It's about triggering what the company truly believes will be the next industrial revolution. And here's why this all matters. The ultimate goal, the grand vision, is to create what they call an age of abundance. It's a future where autonomous robots do most of the physical labor, which would cause the cost of almost everything to collapse and could fundamentally reshape the entire global economy. Which leaves us with this final, massive question. Is Tesla actually writing the blueprint for a new era of human prosperity, all powered by physical AI? Or have we just witnessed the beginning of one of the most spectacular, high-stakes gambles in the history of business? Only time will tell.